Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, September the 23rd. Today is National Checkers Day, also Dogs in Politics Day. It goes way back to not quite 100 years ago. Also National Great American Pot Pie Day. Oh, I love pot pie.
I know you do.
National Snack Sticks Day. Ooh, I love snack sticks. National Teal Talk Day. Well, I got nothing there. It's Energize Day. INNERGIZE. Energize Day. And Restless Leg Awareness Day today. All of these things happening on this Wednesday, the 23rd day of September. It's also a good day to talk to some guests. I got a couple of them. Going to be chatting with a couple of ladies from the National Geographic Channel. I have Sue and I have Brittany. There's a show called Life Below Zero, and there's another show now called Life Below Zero. I believe it's Next Generation. They're both on National Geographic Channel. We're going to be chatting about these people who live in like an Arctic area where it gets really, really, really cold. We'll be chatting with them all about that in just a bit.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Researchers at the American Academy of Sleep have concluded that poor sleep at night often ends up in ramping up your anger the next day. So if you don't get enough sleep...
Oh, I agree with that completely.
You get kind of angry. Hey, are you okay? Did you not get enough sleep last night?
I never get enough sleep.
Just quit yelling at me. It's okay. No, I do feel that is very accurate. But here's the thing that's crazy. Sometimes if I get too much sleep, I get cranky too. You ever notice that? Mm-hmm. Because there are times that I'll sleep way too long and then I'll wake up and then I'm kind of angry that I slept in. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. The owner of a bar in Iowa was busted for letting drinkers flout social distancing rules. Now, I know there's some people on one side of this and some people on another side of this. I'm not taking a side. I'm just reading a story. But Newton, Iowa is where this bar is located. Charles King is the owner. And they asked him way back on September 4th to follow the state guidelines. And he said, no, I'm going to let anybody in that wants to come in. I don't care how many people you tell me I can have in here. If they want to come in, they're coming in. So then, last Thursday, the police showed up with a citation, and he took and yanked it from the clipboard, and he ripped it up and threw it on the ground. He got more charges for struggling with police officers. Yikes. He got arrested. While he was arrested, they found him with some contraband like THC and some other drug stuff. Okay. Anyway, released on $5,600 bond with his initial appearance set for the 29th. So, that's too bad. Again, I know there's people on each side of this thing. I'm not taking a stand because I'll just make somebody mad. And I don't want to make anybody mad. But that is what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. NBC announced that their entire Saturday Night Live cast will be returning for season 46. There's some cast members that have been on there for a long time now. I haven't watched it a bunch, but I remember last year there were a couple of...
last few times I'd seen it, there wasn't anybody that I thought was really standout awesome.
There were some scenes that were shared on YouTube, and then it got shared all over Facebook, and I saw a couple of, what do they call them, clips? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, sketches that were pretty good. And I was like, wow, they're still in the
They
cast.
never seem to know how to end anything anymore.
I know.
It's like they'll have a good concept and then the end just kind of falls flat.
That
It's
is
like,
kinda the way it works.
okay.
South Park is going to tackle COVID-19 in their first ever hour-long episode September 30th, so there's something to look forward to next Wednesday. And CNBC host Jim Cramer is continuing to face scrutiny for calling Nancy Pelosi Crazy Nancy during his broadcast. So, yeah, you don't do that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Matt Lauer is in the news. See, this was almost big screen, little screen. But I thought he hasn't been on TV in a while, so he's not really in that. So he worked for NBC for years.
What's he in the news
Got
for?
in trouble for the whole Me Too stuff. Anyway, he's selling his Hamptons estate for $43 million. So if you're looking for a place and you got 43 million beans laying around, well, there you go. Madonna is in the news, too. She is co-writing and co-directing her own biopic or biopic. I've heard it both ways. A biopic. So it's a
biography
photo
film.
Oh, it's a photo. No, it's not a photo. It's a film that's all about her.
Right.
It's like a biography.
Her life.
Picture. So there we go. I'm going to move on. I'm so confused. Former New York Congressman and convicted sex offender Anthony Weiner is now running a company that makes countertops out of broken glass. I wonder what that looks like.
I bet that'd be beautiful.
I bet it would be too. That sounds real. I've never heard of that, but that sounds really, really interesting. So it's kind of a weird thing, and
It's kind of a
well
far transition from what he was doing before.
But you guys got to do something, So there you go. That's what he's doing.
I suppose so. With all that broken glass laying around, you better leave some things covered.
I kind of want to see what those countertops look like, but I'm not going to click on this story because I don't. Never know what you're going to get there. I'm going to probably mangle the name of this beer, and there's probably many people listening that are big fans of this beer, and I apologize for saying it wrong if I say it wrong. Younglings, or it's Yuengling. Yuengling, how would you say that?
I don't know.
Yuengling, America. It's America's oldest operating brewer.
Okay.
And they've struck a deal now to sell their beer on the West Coast for the first time ever. They're currently available in 22 East Coast states, so only on the East Coast.
Okay.
They've partnered with Molson Coors to expand out on the West Side, so they're going to be all across America very, very soon.
Cool. Good for them.
Yeah, I've heard of it before, but I've never heard anybody say it. I've seen the signs for it and stuff, but have you ever heard anybody pronounce it?
I don't know. I may possibly.
And if they were drunk enough, you still wouldn't know if they were right. Sylvester Stallone is in the news. He's going to debut a painting that he made in the early 1970s that inspired him to write Rocky. So he painted this a long, long time ago, and he's finally like, here, I'm going to show you guys.
Okay.
Be nice if you don't like it. I don't know. He didn't say that. I'm just saying that. I just think, why would you wait 40-some years?
Who knows?
Does that just seem weird to you?
Maybe it's no good. I don't know.
That's kind of
we'll
what
have
I'm
to
afraid
look at
of.
it.
It's like, okay, thanks, Sylvester. That's really neat. It's really cool. It's probably awesome, but he's going to debut this painting. He made it in the early 70s. It inspired him to write Rocky. And one last thing. The French government is cutting down on public activities to control the spread of COVID in France. Now you know. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit with a couple of guests today. We have Sue and Brittany from a TV program called Life Below Zero. And they also have a program, Life Below Zero Next Generation. It's on the National Geographic Channel. And first of all, we'll say hello to Sue. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. great. How's yourself?
I am fantastic. Now, how long have you been on this program, Life Below Zero?
We've finished filming 8 years. We're going into the 9th. That's 14 seasons, and we just captured our 5th Emmy. There's a shameless plug.
That is awesome. I love that. So congratulations on the Emmy. That's very, very cool. Now let's switch over to Brittany. Brittany, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well.
You've been on this program that entire time as well?
No, actually, I'm on the new spinoff, The Life Below Zero Next Generation, and we just aired our 3rd episode.
Nice.
So, but we're hoping long-term that we'll be just as successful as Life Below Zero.
Was there a connection between you guys before this new program came out, or this is just kind of a completely new thing?
Well, the connection is that we all live a rural life. So the difference is Sue and those who are on Life Below Zero have been doing this for some of them upwards of 20 years. Some of them, they were born into this lifestyle. While Next Generation, it's mostly those under 40, and we're choosing a different lifestyle. We've tried the city life. We've tried living the normal 9 to 5, what most people would expect of us. And we decided, you know what, we don't want to do that right now. And so we switched gears and are living a rural life and just trying that out.
And how is that so far? Are you getting used to being in the rural life in this very, very cold area?
Yes. When we first moved out here, I was very much like, this is just temporary, right? And as time has gone on, this is my 8th summer, but my 4th year here, year-round. And it's definitely grown on me. I love living out here. I don't know that I could really see myself living somewhere else, and I know for certain that my husband would not be happy somewhere else.
Now, back to Sue. You guys have been doing this for a long time, and you like you said, an Emmy Award-winning program. People are loving this show. And when people watch, is that a good representation of what life is like there, or is it just kind of, nah, this isn't exactly what it's like, this is just the highlights?
They do such a good job at capturing the actual feeling of what we're doing at the time that they're filming. For example, they'll call and they'll say, hey, we're thinking about coming up during this time frame, and we go over what my chores are or what I'm planning, and they'll be like, oh, wow, that's interesting. Would you mind if we filmed that? Some things it's like, yeah, that'd be awesome, and other things are like, no, I've got to get it done like in 24 hours. So there's not time to develop, all the nuances. Sometimes I bonehead it hard, and you got to admit it, keep going. I mean, if it were a formatted show, I'd probably hit the target more often, swear less. But they film what I actually do,
Yeah.
And I'm a pretty rough-cut version of a human being. You're not going to sit there and wonder, wow, I wonder if she likes me. You're going to know.
But here's the thing. I think that's probably why people love you and they love the program, because you are probably a lot more like the person on the other end of that TV than many things they see on TV.
Yeah. And when people meet me, they go, oh my gosh, you're just like you are on the show. And, life is a little bit too short to try and sugarcoat it. I think they're surprised that I'm more gregarious than they thought. People, have a mistaken impression that I dislike people. I'm like, no, I never said I don't like people. I love people. I just don't want to live with all of you.
There you go. Now, what is it like to see the spinoff and you have this other whole group of people that are doing what you're doing? Is that kind of flattering to see that, wow, what we're doing is so cool, other people want to do it now?
I don't think of other people that way. I think that it's interesting, and I certainly hope that they get it. It's like people will ask, are you getting other people good pointers? And I'm like, no. If somebody asks, I can answer a question, but everybody's life is unique, and Mother Nature is going to throw us curveballs that you never even heard of before.
Yeah.
And it's not my life that's going to receive what her curveball is, so they're going to have to, as a cohesive couple, come up with that and their children. So it'll be interesting to watch.
Thank you so much, Sue. Thank you, Brittany, for taking the time to chat. I appreciate it a bunch.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Absolutely. And again, the program, Life Below Zero and Life Below Zero Next Generation, both on the National Geographic Channel. I'm going to throw a link to all of the information so you can find these programs in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
It's illegal to eat cherry pie with ice cream in the state of Kansas.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I don't think that's probably really still illegal. But for whatever reason, at one point, somebody thought it was so important that they decided we need to make this a law. No ice cream on cherry pie. The entire state. So why would that ever even be considered?
Maybe it's because of the guy who died with the whole dairy and cherry combination. Didn't we have a president that died? So maybe they were afraid that ice cream on cherry pie would be dangerous. It had nothing to do with cherry pie. No, that it wasn't cherry. He was eating cherries and drinking milk. So dairy and cherries, maybe it scared people.
Cherry pie are two completely different things.
It's still dairy and it's still cherries. Maybe they were afraid.
President Taylor, by the way, for those of you wondering who she's talking about.
Maybe that's the basis of it.
All right, there you go. Fun
fact.
It's
the same thing. It's just different forms.
We got so far off. Thanks for listening to this fun fact on the John and Heidi Show. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline Russia. You're doing a little dance over there. You like that?
I am doing a little dance.
What's going on over there?
Nothing.
You just seem really happy. She's excited for news from somewhere in this world. No one's ever been excited for this feature before. Feel like I better step it up. Dateline Russia. A fierce critic of Vladimir Putin has emerged from a coma after being poisoned last month and says he plans to return to Russia soon. He was poisoned after drinking tea in Russia. I don't know that I would...
I think I'd maybe stay away.
Yeah, you know what? He's a critic of Putin. Maybe just be a critic somewhere else. I'm just thinking of your safety there. Not a good idea to go back. Yeah, he's heading back to Russia. Not a good plan. This
Brave
is
man.
A news headline from somewhere in this world.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Authorities have confirmed that a snake is not a valid covering for your face. A man in England was spotted with a snake wrapped around his head on a bus. A passenger who asked not to be named in the story.
Oh,
he said, what do you got going on? He goes, oh, it's just a funky mask, that's all. And then somebody spotted that it was an actual snake. And she said, no, you can't do that. And she thought this incident was really, really funny. Anyway, the animal did not seem to be bothered by any of the fellow passengers. Pictures show the man was not wearing a mask under the snake. Using a face covering on public transportation is mandatory right now, except for those who are exempt for reasons of age or health or disability. A Transport for Greater Manchester spokesperson explained that the makeshift masks are okay, but a small degree of interpretation has to be applied. We do not believe that extends to the use of a snake, especially one that is still alive. So a snakeskin mask, maybe.
A dead snake would be fine?
If it was a snake skin mask, but they're like, when it's still attached to the snake, no. Now, you know,
probably just as effective.
I didn't know where to put that other than in the weird news, and it absolutely belongs there. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com.
I am not balking. You point at me and you wait as if I'm going to
I always do. She never does. A Georgia man was sentenced Monday to more than 2 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to a scheme that used stolen identities to obtain tickets to the Masters golf tournament. Federal prosecutors say 42-year-old Stephen Michael Freeman of Athens and 3 family members in Texas sold the tickets for a profit. Says here 28 months in prison. More than a year has passed since he pled guilty to conspiracy to commit mail fraud. His parents and his sister also entered guilty pleas. Now, federal prosecutors say the family used stolen IDs from 2013 through 2017 to cheat the lottery system that distributes tournament tickets to circumvent the Augusta National Golf Club rules, allowing people to apply only once to enter their tickets. So they stole identities just so they could get more tickets, and then they were selling them and making a profit, and they got caught finally. How did you not think you were going to get caught? Eventually you're going to, and you did. That is today's Moment of Da. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me?
Alrighty, I'm ready.
All right, fake news or Florida. A Florida man was arrested for using a super glue-like substance to make orange cones permanently close a road near his home. Fake news or Florida?
Oh, I'm going to say fake news.
It is fake news. That would be funny, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it would be extremely illegal.
It would be illegal.
It would be a very bad idea.
I wonder if that's even possible to do that. We might have.
And I don't know why somebody would want to permanently close the road to their home.
Not to their home, near their home. Like if you don't want traffic outside your windows, for example.
Did you make that one up?
I did, and I was trying to think of how I could close this. We had some very noisy vehicles driving by when I was doing this, so I did not have a good fake news or Florida. Some of the ones that get submitted are really, really good, by the way. I just want to say thank you to those who submit really good ones. And then there's other ones where I'm like, well, I know there was a story that we read like that. It's too close to that. And then Heidi's going to yell at me for it. So if you do have a good fake news or Florida story, you can submit that at JohnandHeidiShow.com. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to JohnandHeidiShow.com. Again, JohnandHeidiShow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is just amazing good news. Comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com, and this is from a state right next door to where I grew up. North Dakota farmers finish neighbor's harvest after a heart attack. Listen to this. Dozens of farmers in North Dakota put their harvesting on hold to cut 1,000 acres for a farmer who suffered a heart attack after his combine caught fire last week. I actually saw images on Facebook of that. Lane Unjem, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Unhjem. How would you say that?
Yeah.
Unjem?
Yeah, I suppose.
We'll just say Lane.
Young'em?
Could be. He was in the middle of harvesting when he went into cardiac arrest. He was flown to Minot, where he's in stable condition. When the word spread of the situation, farmers in the area coordinated an effort to help him out. Around 60 different farmers brought in 11 combines, 6 grain carts, and 15 semis to get his wheat and canola in the bin for him. Says, I talked to a couple of farmers. They got their equipment and they placed, then they reached out to others and they just started calling, and we had equipment offered from all over the place. And people were just rolling in. So that's just really, really cool. It says those who assisted say letting his crops go unharvested would have been a huge loss for the family. Helping them out was just common sense.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the Unums, or I don't know how to say their names. So everybody knows this family.
Right.
And it says they're good people and they're good in the community, and that's just the kind of farming way of life.
Nice.
It says you help your neighbor out when they need it and you don't expect anything in return. It only took 7 hours, by the way, when this huge team of people showed up.
Yeah.
And they got it all taken care of over the weekend. That
happens so many times in farming communities. I mean, they really do all kind of band together when a tragedy happens, and that's amazing. I love it.
The family says Lane is doing okay, but he does have a long road of recovery ahead. I've got a link to that story, by the way, if you'd like to read that or get any more details. And there's some photos and videos and stuff on there as well. The link is in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Wednesday. Thanks for listening.